Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Tammy with Fearless. Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, YouTube. How's everybody doing on this great Sunday afternoon? This is Tammy with Fearless Living with Corey and Tammy. Coming to you this afternoon. I'm getting ready to cook some good old Sunday dinner. And I wanted to take you all along with me as I cook some. I'm going to cook some good old macaroni and cheese, some barbecue ribs, and some cabbage. And so I'm going to take y'all along with me as I cook this good old Sunday meal. So y'all come along with me. So these are some of my ingredients that I'm going to be using. I use Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I mix a little open pit with it. And I use some sharp cheddar cheese. I use some Velveeta cheese sauce. A little half and half. I use a couple of eggs. So when I mix it together, I'll show you all what I do when I mix it together. So, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and boil my noodles. I got my ribs boiling first because I like to boil my ribs first. So I got my ribs boiling first, and so I got those on the stove, and so got my hot water for my macaroni. I got my ribs already boiling. So those are almost ready to be ready to go into the oven with my seasonings. So I'm gonna show you all that as I go on with that, and then y'all just come on and watch it and see how I can burn a little bit. So yeah, that's y'all come on along with me while I cook this good old Sunday afternoon dinner. So I'm getting things prepped. I have my cabbage, my butter, my barbecue sauce, my cheese sauce, my shredded cheese, my half and half, my canned milk. So I use canned milk and half and half because it makes it creamy. Got my Lowry's, got my adobo, got my rice vinegar, have my seasonings. I got garlic powder, meat tenderizer, table blend, what else? Onion and herb powder, Mrs. Dash. So these are my seasonings I'm getting ready to use to prep. So I'm just waiting for my macaronis to boil. My ribs are about done boiling, so I'm gonna wash those off and put those in a pan and season those up. Okay, so my ribs are done. They're rinsed off and they're very tender because I use the meat tenderizer when I boiled them. When I boiled the ribs, I put meat tenderizer seasoning, the meat tenderizer. Let me turn that around. Meat tenderizer. So I put that in my boiling water. So, and I boiled them for about 45 minutes. So trust me, they are nice and tender. So what I'm getting ready to do is put some Worcestershire sauce on them. So I'm trying to hold this phone and do this at the same time. So y'all work with me. This is my first time really trying to do this. So, and then I'm going to sprinkle some good old Lowry's seasoning salt. And some, then I'm going to put garlic powder. Garlic powder. And then I have some onion and herb seasoning, Mrs. Dash. There we go. All these gonna work together like that. And so then I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes. I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes while I get my sauce together. And in my sauce, I'm gonna use the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, a little open pit, because the open pit, this old school, this open pit, just a little bit of open pit, not much. That's gonna give it a little kick. And then I'm also gonna put some rice vinegar in the barbecue sauce and a little brown sugar. So I'm gonna mix that all together while the ribs are sitting and marinating. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna move the ribs to the side for a minute, get my sauce together, and then come back and put the sauce on the ribs before I put them in the oven. And then by that time, my macaronis should be boiled and ready for me to prep that before it goes in the oven. So stay tuned. So I'm gonna use just about all of this Sweet Baby Ray's. Then I'm going to add some open pit, just a little bit. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of rice vinegar, some brown sugar, give it a stir. I like sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, so that's why I mix them. I like a sweet and tangy, so that's why I mix them like this. Mmm, delicious, delicious. I'm gonna get the rest of, add a little water to this. Get the rest of this barbecue sauce out. And those ribs are so tender. Oh my God. There we go. They are so tender. And they're done pretty much. I'm just gonna put them in the oven for a little bit with this barbecue sauce. And they're done. But they are so tender, so tender. That's the tip. When you boiling them, use meat tenderizer in your while you boiling them. Don't put the meat tenderizer on them while they're cooking, but while they're boiling. And let me show you. They're coming off the bone. Let me show you. Look at that meat. So tender. So tender. And it's done. So now I'm gonna pour the barbecue sauce on them. What y'all cooking today? Y'all cooking anything good today? On this nice, I don't know, what's the weather like where you all are? It's beautiful here in Atlanta. Atlanta, you know, Atlanta has bipolar weather. One day it's freezing, the next day it's burning up. But it's been beautiful out the past few days. Nice 70s type of weather. Okay. So now I got that. So, got my ribs ready to go in the oven. So I got these ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna cover them with foil. And I have my oven on 375, 375, 380 because I'm gonna put the macaroni and the ribs in the oven at the same time. So when I do that, I always put the temperature up a little high. So this is the before the ribs are going in the oven with the barbecue sauce. You saw the barbecue sauce. So now I'm getting ready to cover them up and put them in the oven and prep my macaroni and cheese. And stay tuned for this macaroni and cheese. And I need you all to like, subscribe, share. I'm going to be doing a lot more cooking videos as well because a lot of people have been telling me because I cook very well. So they always say, you need to do some cooking videos. You need to do some cooking videos because you cook so well. You need to do cooking videos. So this is kind of like my first one. Yeah, so continue to watch. Okay, so my noodles are ready for my macaroni. So I'm getting ready to prep that. So I have the noodles draining. So they are all nice and drained. So what I like to do first, I like to put my noodles in a big bowl or a big pot and mix all of the ingredients together first before I put it in my pan that I'm gonna bake it with, because I like it to be evenly distributed. And so when you do it like this, just put it in a big bowl like this, and then I like creamy, I like butter, I like good macaroni and cheese. So I'm not making a large pan like I usually do. So I'm only going to pretty much be using like half of the ingredients that I usually do. So I'm going to use half a stick of butter. No, half of a stick. So 2 tablespoons of butter. So this is half of a half. So I use half of this just to mix in the noodles, to get the noodles nice and buttery. And the noodles are still warm, so the butter is melting. The butter is melting. So I do that. And then I take about 1/4 of a stick, and I'm going to grease my pan with this. And since I'm not doing a huge pan, I'm going to just use my Pyrex pan. So I'm going to go ahead and grease this. Grease it on the bottom and the sides. Okay. And then I'll save the rest of the butter for the top. For the top of the macaroni. So now get that all softened up and melted up. I like good old creamy cheesy macaroni, old-fashioned macaroni. So I buy the Velveeta, the individual pack Velveeta cheese sauce. This is the Velveeta cheese sauce. So I put that in first after I do my butter. Then I'm going to do a packet of cheese sauce. And I'm only going to do one pack because I'm not doing a full big old huge pan of macaroni. So I'm only going to do one packet of cheese sauce. But if I was doing a real big pan of macaroni, I'll use 2 packs of the cheese sauce. And you can buy this cheese sauce individual, like from any grocery store. You just mix it in. Mix it in the macaroni. Mix it all up. Butter still melting. And the cheese sauce. Everybody makes their macaroni different. Some people put sour cream in there. Some people put cream cheese in theirs. I'm just, you know, I'll do it like my mom do it. This is very traditional, very old, you know, old school. People always rave over my mom's macaroni and cheese. I'll never probably be able to get it as good as hers. She's known for her macaroni and cheese, but trust me, I'm second on the list in the family. I believe. So get it all. And that's why I like using a big bowl or a big pot first. And not to, you know, to mix it all together so it can all be evenly distributed. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'll show you in a minute. Trying to get my butter to continue to melt. See that? Some people can eat it just like this. Not me. Not us over on this side of town. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is add my shredded cheese. Now, normally sometimes, most of the times, I shred my own cheese, but I'm taking the easy way out today. This was on sale at Publix, buy one, get one free, so this is what we're using today. So I do the first bag. Get that in. Get that all evenly distributed. You can use a fork, you can use a spoon, whatever you like. Then I'm going to take my second bag. And I'm going to use half of my second bag. Because I'm going to use the other half for the top. Well, a little bit more than half. And then I had some extra cheese in the fridge. This is more of a shredded, so I'm going to use some of this on the top as well. And I'm going to add a little bit of this. This is just like a little extra. You can, whatever, you know, whatever you like. And you just mix it all up. And that's if you like cheesy macaroni. To me, macaroni ain't macaroni if it's not cheesy. I don't like a cheeseless macaroni, or I don't like macaroni and just this cheese sauce in the noodles. I don't like that either. I like cheese in my macaroni. Okay, so got that just about all evenly distributed. So after you do your noodles, then you do your butter, then your cheese sauce, then your shredded macaroni and cheese, and it's gonna look like this. And you do this all in a big bowl or a pan or another pan, a separate pan, not the one that you're baking in, because you want it to all be even. Okay, so then what I do is I crack me 2 eggs. Some people don't like eggs in their macaroni and cheese. I grew up with eggs in my macaroni and cheese. Well, I take that back because my great-grandmother, she didn't do eggs in her macaroni and cheese, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I was little, but I don't think she did. I think my mom said she didn't do eggs in her macaroni and cheese. Sit down, Tiny. That's my dog. One of them. Okay, so then you pour the egg inside the center of the macaroni, and then you take a fork, not a spoon. You take a fork with that, and you kind of like knead it in the macaroni. Get all the sides, the center. Get everything so that it's all mixed in together. Real good. Okay. And then last but not least, I do my milk. So I got my carnation canned milk, evaporated milk. You can use whatever kind you like. So I use a whole can of that. And I mix this all up evenly. This would make it real creamy. The butter, the cheese sauce, the milk. Some people use regular milk. I like canned milk. And then I also like to use half and half heavy cream. So this is what's going to make, this is the tip. This is what's going to make it real creamy. I don't use no measuring, nothing. I just eyeball it. And see, just mixing all together. Mixing all together. Mixing all together. And like I said, when you use, you know, like a big bowl or a big pot or whatever, you can mix it all, add a little more. Okay. Make sure the cheese is all mixed up, evenly distributed throughout the noodles, because you don't want a section of noodles with no cheese. I've seen that plenty of times with other people. You go to you go to get a spoonful of macaroni, you got a spoonful of macaroni and cheese, and you got a spoonful of macaroni. And then you go to you go again, then you got a spoonful of cheese. Okay, make it make sense. So no. Okay. So it looks nice and creamy, and see that? Can you see it? I'll get you a picture in a minute before I put it in the oven. So after I do that, Then I'm gonna go get my grease pan. I think I want a little bit more of this cheese in it, and then I'm gonna put some more of this cheese on the top. Yeah. Gotta have a cheesy macaroni. And you can use whatever kind of cheese you like. So during the holidays, you know, I spend money on good cheese. And then that's when that macaroni and cheese dish costs you $50 to make. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my grease glass dish. And then I'm gonna take my bowl of mixed macaroni and cheese and then pour it all in the dish. Get all the cheese out. Don't want to leave no cheese in the bowl. You want all your cheese in your macaroni. Okay. And just take your fork. Even that all out like that. Nice and creamy, milky, creamy, cheesy. This is some good macaroni and cheese. Okay. Get it all down there in the juices so it can bake well. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna put some butter on the top. Some little slithers of butter. That's gonna make it golden brown on the top. Then I'm gonna take the rest of my cheese. Sprinkle on the top. Okay. Then we're going to put it in the oven. So this is how it looks before it goes into the oven. This is how it looks before it goes into the oven. Can y'all see it? I don't know how my lighting is. That's how it looks before it goes into the oven. We're going to bake it for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then when I take it out, I'll let you see it. So now I am preparing my cabbage. So I'm going to cut my cabbage up. And my cabbage is done real simple. My problems. Alright, so cut this part off. And then you just simply cut it down. Well, I cut it down the middle. What are these knives of mine? So the macaroni and cheese is in the oven, uncovered. No foil on top. So it's uncovered. Chopping up my cabbage. Sometimes I fry it, but I'm not gonna fry it today. Because if I if I fry it, I use bacon grease and bacon bits, and I'm not doing that today because I'm having ribs, so I don't want all that pork. I don't want all that pork. Although I love pork, I can eat bacon every day. But I don't. Just chopping up my cabbage. And I use 3 ingredients for my cabbage. And when I tell you it's slamming, it is slamming. And I'm going to show y'all which 3 ingredients those are. Just 3 ingredients. Try it. Try cooking your cabbage with these 3 ingredients. And then send me a message and tell me how it came out. You can almost drink the cabbage juice, I'm telling you. These 3 ingredients. Okay. So I have my cabbage all cut up. Cabbage is cut. And ready to go in the pot to cook. Cabbage does not take long to cook, so I'm not going to put it excuse me, in the pot yet until my macaroni and greens are almost ready. Because this cabbage only takes a few minutes to cook. So my 3 ingredients are half a stick of butter, this Goya adobo all-purpose seasoning. Please don't sleep on it. Try it. This and rice vinegar. That's it. Cook your cabbage with just these 3 ingredients, and then let me know. Send me a message and let me know how it turned out. So this is my cabbage cut up. I'm going to be using rice vinegar, not a lot. This is my main ingredient. This is my main seasoning right here. This is it. And butter. That's it. Try it. Okay, so once everything gets prepared and done, I'll come back and let you all know, let you all see what it looks like. Okay. Okay, y'all, so dinner is ready. This is good old cabbage. This is some good old cabbage. Good old ribs. Good old macaroni and cheese. Look how creamy that macaroni and cheese is in there. Look at that. Does that not look delicious? Look at that. Look at that good old macaroni and cheese. Look at those good old ribs. So y'all know what time it is now. We get ready to eat and shut it down. So happy Sunday to y'all. Happy Sunday.